Well, hundreds of tech founders and leaders have signed an open letter calling on their industry to keep diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives despite the pressure to roll them back. The letter speaks out against a recent shift by the tech sector, including Canada's largest tech company, Shopify, which laid off its team supporting Black, Indigenous, and women entrepreneurs. Camp Tech founder Avery Swartz is one of the letter's co-authors, and she's in studio with us this morning. Avery, great to have you here.
Thank you.
So what made you start this letter?
I saw a headline in a tech industry publication that said Canada's tech industry is going far right. And I had an almost visceral reaction. I thought, let's be crystal clear. There is a small insular group of people that would like to take us in that direction, but they do not speak for the entire industry, and they definitely do not speak for me. So I reached out to some other women tech founders that I know, Laura Gabor and Sarah Stockdale, and I said, what are you doing this weekend? Let's write a letter.
Avery, good for you. How is the industry here in Canada responding to DEI cuts and rollbacks? We've seen, big companies south of the border eliminate them or roll them back significantly, but what's the picture here in Canada?
So we know for sure that Shopify has rolled back their DEI initiatives. I know anecdotally that there are a lot of conversations that are happening in back rooms and behind closed doors asking if companies should go in the same direction. Outside of the tech industry, we just heard that law firm McCarthy Tetro is rolling back or at least pausing their Black and Indigenous hiring program for students. We also heard from Toronto Pride saying that they had 3 corporate sponsors recently back out, and their executive director said that they were receiving a message that said that some corporate sponsors are having a shift in messaging, and that could be due or could be driving their withdrawal of support for the Toronto Pride program.
Where do you see this starting, Avery? I mean, we were just listening to President Trump talking in Congress, and he was saying how we are not a woke nation, and talking about DEI rollbacks in various areas. Where has this come from, this idea that it could hurt us? And you also say it's an economic setback.
Absolutely. So, yes, there is a political climate right now. There is a bit of a trend, as it were, to roll back DEI. Definitely a lot of that is coming from the Trump administration. But when we look at DEI purely from an economic or business lens, it makes absolutely no sense to roll it back. So we know there have been countless studies that have shown that innovative teams come from diversity. People that come from different backgrounds, different lived experiences, they bring those with them to work. That makes their work more innovative. Right now, we're in a moment in the Canadian economy where we need more innovation. We do not want to see companies stagnate through groupthink and blind spots. We need our companies to thrive. And the Canadian tech industry has thrived through innovation over the last few decades. This is the wrong direction. So if you can't get on board for the moral or the ethical reasons, at least get on board for the business reasons.
Your letter urges Canadians to stand up for equality and equity and send a clear message by not supporting businesses that choose to abandon these values. But what do you want to see from the companies themselves? What messaging do we want to hear?
I mean, I definitely want to see companies double down on DEI, say that they stand for it. It's uniquely Canadian to focus on fairness and inclusion. Now, we don't always get it right in Canada. We make a lot of mistakes, but to say that you're going more towards a rollback or, a Trump administration style influence, it's the wrong direction.
Can I ask you about AI, because this is an area of expertise of yours? We know that AI, people are fearful of AI taking over jobs. But we also know that artificial intelligence is programmed and set up, and those algorithms start because of human voices and faces, and that includes all spectrums, all genders, all races and cultures. And so if we roll back, is there a danger that that influences or changes algorithms and the direction of AI in the tech industry?
Of course, absolutely. I mean, we need to have all voices at the table, both human and synthetic as well. Synthetic voices, of course, being trained on that human data. Algorithmic bias, which is something that you mentioned here, is something that deeply concerns me. And again, we want to move towards building tech that is built by everyone, for everyone, because that's where Canada thrives in the innovation economy.
Avery Swartz, it is great to have you here and to talk about this in person. If people are interested in seeing the letter, signing the letter, what can they do?
So they want to go to the website called What in the Tech. So go to whatinthetech.co, and up at the top it says open letter. You can click on that. You can see it, and we encourage you to check it out and maybe even sign it.
Great to have you here, Avery. Thank you. If you like that video, make sure to subscribe to the Your Morning YouTube feed, where you can find all kinds of new content posted every weekday morning.